Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Bradford, General Manager for Fandom Interactive. I'm here today with D&D Beyond's and Beyond Development Update and Community Q&A session. Thank you for joining me. I am thrilled to have you there. So, latest updates available now. The Italian version of the Player's Handbook is available now. I encourage you, if you have Italian as your native language or as a second language and you just find it fascinating to read the Player's Handbook in that language, go check that out. As we have shared multiple times, this is compendium content only. This is the starting point for us. We do want to provide the Player's Handbook for other languages as well. And so we're going to continue to test this and continue to see how this is received and move forward with other languages as quickly as we possibly can. I know that we're getting questions about, what about Portuguese? What about Spanish? Those are definitely on the agenda, and we're trying to get to them as quickly as possible. Incoming, just a little bit of a heads up, we do have a privacy policy change that should go live within the next couple of days. This is nothing major, but it is going to include a company name change. So you're going to see that any of the instances of Wikia Incorporated showing up in the privacy policy are fully replaced with Fandom Incorporated at this point in time. So that is going to be one of the changes for the privacy policy. And then we do have some GDPR updates that are needed. So you'll see a banner on the site soon. Wanted to just give a quick heads up about what that banner was about, that we had to make those updates to our privacy policy. And then work in progress, we've got the D&D player mobile app that is starting to come together. And, we'll see again over time the current app be renamed into an e-reader application as we start to really be able to deliver a phenomenal experience for players with a character sheet in a player app that's coming up. And then we do have the Encounter Builder now has campaign players, and I'm going to show that off really quickly. So on D&D Beyond, we've got some Inception going on here. Like I see the stream of myself there. All right, so we're going to go to Tools. We're going to find our Encounter Builder. So here is our handy Encounter Builder. And with this now, if you go to Manage Characters, you were before able to set presets in here or customize the number of characters and the average party level. But now you will find the ability in the preset column to go and instead choose one of your existing campaigns, and then it will do all of the math for you and pull that in. So I'm going to choose Waterdeep Dragon Heist here, and then you are able to choose the characters that you want. This is one of the games we ran in our office. If you want to hide a character, you can do that as well. So you can hide that character and it's not going to show up in the calculations there. You can also view the character sheet for any of the characters from this place here. You can also add characters if you need to. So for instance, if your encounter is using your campaign players, but then you have an NPC that is participating strongly in that encounter where it would impact the difficulty, you can add those here as well. So all of that is going to happen, and that is going to be what is pulled in to manage the encounter difficulty that we have. And so as we start adding creatures, all of that is going to, I don't know what the Aarakocra. Oh yeah, that's from I think that's from Princes of the Apocalypse, right? Yeah. So as you start adding abyssal chickens, yes, we need those. So I'm going to add 5 of those for good measure. That's good eating. Eat their abyssal chicken wings. All right. So ultimately, campaign integration, very exciting. I know that people have been asking for this, throughout the alpha and beta period. So we've been able to make that change and add that into D&D Beyond at this point in time, and we're really excited about that. So a very huge Unearthed Arcana dropped. I guess it's been a couple of weeks ago now. and this is all about class feature variants and enhancements. So you have replacements and enhancements going on here. As I hope you could potentially imagine, this is a big deal, and this is not something as easy as putting in a new subclass for one of the existing classes. This is a very big lift, and so I'm communicating to the community now that this is a priority for us, and this is something that we want to put in place. We've been trying to work with Wizards of the Coast as to how much of how confident they feel about this system before we put a good bit of development effort into this. But this is something that we are going to be providing as soon as we are able to do so. No development has actually started here because there's actually some planning that we're doing to make sure that we don't paint ourselves into a corner, and to make sure that if this playtest content hits an actual published source at some point in the future, that we're not going to end up with problems even at that point when we're trying to remove this or upgrade this or whatever else. And so this is something that we're taking very seriously and is a priority, but it is going to take some time. I cannot tell you how much time at this point, but we are going to provide it for everyone as soon as we possibly can, because we understand that, especially if you play a ranger out there, you are very excited about everything that's happening with this playtest content. So ultimately, we'll get this in place as soon as we can. Encounter Tracker Phase 1, this is something that is technically in progress. So I probably need to move this up into the other latest updates section because it is in progress. It's something that will be released when it's ready, but it's something that is underway. Convention. So we got PAX Unplugged going on in Philadelphia on December the 6th. So if you're going to be there, it's been in existence for 2 years. This will be the third year. It is already, just 2 years in, one of the best tabletop conventions in the world. And so I strongly suggest, if you ever are able to travel to Philadelphia, even in the future, to check this one out. But we will be there. If you see me or see us, by all means, stop and say hello. You might get stickers. I'm not exactly sure what all is, in play about that, but definitely come by and see us at PAX Unplugged if you happen to be there. Book releases. So we've got Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons is a very, very big deal that's coming out. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, you're going to love this. To be honest, if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan and you're just curious about Rick and Morty, you're still probably going to love this. There's some unique perspectives and some really funny writing that's going on in this supplement. So I encourage you to pick that up. And then Eberron Rising from the Last War. So I'm sure many of you have seen the graphic that has gone around the internet where on Dragon Talk, it was discussed what was the same between the Wayfinder's Guide and the new Rising from the Last War supplement, and then what Rising from the Last War was going to include that was not in the Wayfinder's Guide. And so one of the things that we need to communicate is that this release is going to be a little more disruptive than a typical release, because typically we have content that is entirely new that we are then releasing to the public on a release date. This time we have content that has previously been highlighted in another supplement that is going to get upgraded. So again, as we've communicated in the past, all of the content that has been upgraded in Rising from the Last War, if you own the Wayfinder's Guide, it will be upgraded for you. But an example of what I mean by potential disruption, and again, we're not talking any major types of disruption. The site will still be up, those kind of things. But you might just see some mechanics in flux for a day or two as we're sorting all of this out. But the Warforged, for instance, are in the past you would have seen sub races for the Warforged in Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. I've seen it's been released elsewhere on the internet that the Warforged does not have sub races at this point in time. And so there's going to be an upgrading of and an updating of the Warforged to that version of what it is. But for instance, if you bought sub races before in the Wayfinder's Guide, if you bought any of the sub races, then you're going to get the full Warforged race since that change has happened. So those kinds of updates are going to be happening for a day or two as release is going on. If you've purchased this, if you pre-ordered Eberron, I encourage you to do so first of all, because there are some really, really cool themes. And I'm going to show some of those off actually in just a second, but some very cool Eberron related themes and content. But ultimately, you can pre order to get those. But when that becomes available at midnight Eastern time on the release date, all of the compendium will be accurate, so you can go in and read the book without any kind of disruption. I'm more talking about some of the other character elements and listing elements, and those kinds of pages might take a little bit of time to be updated because we're having to update them in two places, and we're having to make sure that we're not completely spoiling any of this new content. So wanted to let you know that we would be working on that. Same thing with the mobile app. It might be a day or two delay on the mobile app. We're going to be doing it as soon as we possibly can, but either way, it will be available quickly, and the text of the book will be completely fine and readable by you on midnight Eastern time of the release date on the website, and the rest of that will be starting at that process. And who knows, we might surprise ourselves and it might be faster than that. But I did want to let everyone know that there could be just a little bit of disruption because of the nature of this release. All right, upcoming. So let's see. I am going to actually go now and show off just a few of the, whoops, that was the wrong button. My characters. Let's find, I like this fellow, Briv Steelmarrow. So here's Briv, and I think we have these loaded. Let's see if we do. So you're going to see double up here. This is just a weird thing because I happen to be an admin. I'm seeing things twice. So pay no attention to those kinds of things. Do we not have them in there? Oh, wait a minute. We do. All right. So we've got some Eberron frames here. So yeah, that's the Ambit, the Sprocket. I like that one. Cog, Brass Thorns. I mean, look at some of these. These are really, really cool. Valinar Thorns. All of these are starting to buzzsaw. Miter's Touch. I like that one. We got Arcane Mist. Let's see. Ooh, animated buzzsaw. Did we animate this really? Oh, yeah. Animated buzzsaw. I like it. Animated Miter's Touch. I'm having to zoom in because I'm like, or zoom up and down because I'm zoomed in a lot. But yeah, let's see. Arcane Mist. Ooh. Spore Cloud. Electric. All right. So yeah, very, very cool frames that we're starting to see here. So definitely encourage everyone to pre-order if you haven't. I'm assuming we have some backdrops in place as well. So very cool Eberron themed backdrops in play too. So pre-order today and you will be able to get those for your characters.